I am thinking about joy this morning. And before I go any further, let me just reassure you, I've got my seatbelt on. The phone is just hanging out on this little magnetic thing I have in my car. I'm not looking directly at the phone. But sometimes these thoughts hit me. Sometimes the Spirit moves and I want to get the thoughts out before they disappear. And I want to share with you about a really beautiful moment I saw this morning. As I was leaving the house, one of our neighbors, an older gentleman, was hanging out with his grandson right by the edge of the road. And as I was driving by, it's clear that he had challenged his grandson to a race to the garage door. Who can make it first to the garage door? And so here I saw this gentleman whose hair was the color that my beard is turning, running, and it looked like maybe his knees were pretty sore as he ran, but he ran, and a little 4-year-old boy was running to try and beat him, and the grandpa won. Grandpa made it to the garage door first, but there was such joy on their faces, and it was such a simple and beautiful moment. I don't know if you have moments like that in your daily life where you see something or you experience something and you just think, oh gosh, like it's almost like time slows down for a minute and you think, that is really, really beautiful. That's how that struck me this morning, and it's making me think about joy and where that shows up in our everyday lives. And I was thinking about where joy shows up in the scriptures. 2 scriptures came to mind. First, John 15, where Jesus says to his followers, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you, and so that your joy may be complete. What a beautiful thought that Jesus' teaching, his way of life, what's the purpose for it? So that Christ's own joy might be in us, and so that our joy might be complete. This way of justice and mercy and love for all, what's the point of it? The point is to spread this divine joy in the world. I love that thought. And then the other scripture that came to my mind was Galatians 5, where it lists the fruits of the Spirit. And it says that one of the fruits of the Spirit is joy. And that got me thinking about how fruit works. A fruit tree, its entire job is to take the nutrients from the soil in its roots and then use those nutrients to produce fruit. If you put a white carnation in a glass of colored water, it will pull up the colored water and put out whatever the color was that you put in the water. And so fruit is simply the task of taking what you're rooted in and offering that same thing back to the world. So I think about what we're rooted in daily. Where do we spend our time? Where do we spend our energy? Where do we put our attention? I think about some of the people I know who spend a lot of time listening to and watching cable news shows. And I think, gosh, if that is what they are rooted in, then it starts to make sense. Some of the anger or fear or shame or frustration or all the other things that come out of them, because what they're rooted in is what they're producing. And so for the fruit of the Spirit to be joy, we've got to be rooted in the Spirit. So that is my prayer for all of you today, is that you be rooted in the things that will produce joy. That you be rooted in community, in people who care for you, in your ability to care for others, to stand up for those who are weighed down by some of the harder things in this life, or weighed down by systems that oppress them. All of those things, when we are rooted in those things, I know that what comes out of us is joy. And my other prayer for you is that you also have these moments where it looks like time slows down for a second because you see something and you just think, oh, that is beautiful. So those are my prayers for you today, that Christ's joy may be in you, that your joy may be complete, and that you be rooted in the things of the Spirit that bring out of you that divine joy.